this fight at first seemed to me like I wasn't sure which direction I was going to go to. I thought it was a 50-50 type fight, but after watching some of the most recent footage and doing and thinking about it, I really would strongly edge Sean Brady in this fight. So a couple notes I took. So I saw Chiesa versus Luque, and a few notes I took. So Chiesa, he has that nice side to side movement, and then he all of a sudden goes down the pipe, which actually caught Luque, who's on paper a much better striker than Chiesa. I actually, in my mind, I thought Chiesa was going to beat Luque in that last fight, but he was too aggressive in chasing the sub, and he kind of chose the whole you can't pick submission over position in jiu-jitsu principle, so he kind of got a little overzealous there. I thought that perhaps it was because he was really excited and he had a top opponent. If he would have won that fight, he could have had a title shot, and he seemed like really amped up, so maybe that excitement caused him to make that mistake. So his striking definitely improved. He's very physically strong, beautiful takedowns. He was undefeated at 170 before he lost to Vicente Luque. After that fight, he really looked disappointed in himself. I think he realized that he got a little aggressive, made that mistake. He has a 6'3.5" reach. So what is that? 75.5-inch reach. He's 33 years old, so keep that in mind. At welterweight, it could mean that he might have already hit his peak at this point. Also, he kind of it was pretty easy for Vicente to pressure him. And also, so now let's look at Sean Brady. So he's 28 years old. He has some nice leg kicks. He was a little comfortable getting pressured back against Jake Matthews. I think that in this case, Chiesa may have a slight striking advantage. But to be fair, Sean Brady's just growing and getting better and better. The guy has a great work ethic. I do think that it was a solid win over rising prospect and Jake Matthews. I think a lot of people don't give Jake Matthews the respect he deserves. Brady is very quick for a stocky and strong type guy. He just needs to be careful. I saw him throw a few naked leg kicks, but he's getting better and better. Also, one thing was when Matthews he caught Brady's leg and he hit him with, I think, a 2 down the middle, and he dropped him, but Brady reacted and recovered extremely well and quickly got on top. Chiesa could win possibly by using his reach, but I do think Brady's going to use his strength and his technique to win the grappling exchanges. I mean, even Paul Felder says he's the strongest guy he trains with. The guy's built like a tank. He's tough. He's from Philadelphia. A couple other notes I took was, Matthews was catching Brady with that 1-1-2. Eventually, Brady did counter him with that counter hook, left hook. And, technically Chiesa could do, hit Brady with some shots on the pipe, which I do see could happen. But Brady, I think that Brady, first of all, he's nice off his back. Even if he gets taken down, as possibly could reverse Chiesa. And Brady's takedowns are so damn powerful. It kind of reminds me of a bull rush or an NFL player or a GSP or even actually Max Holloway when he took down Yair recently. Also, what's interesting is that Brady, for a guy who's all tatted up, he looks kind of, when a guy from Philly, he looks like a scary guy who'd meet, in a dark alley and he'd kick your ass. But in reality, he's very thoughtful and methodical. He's like a great dancer, chess player, poker player. He knows every step his opponent's going to make. He can anticipate it in 3 steps ahead and never makes a mistake. And it's funny because, usually a short guy for 170 at 5'9", usually a lot of stocky, jacked fighters struggle, sometimes with cardio, sometimes with reach, but he kind of makes it work with world-class grappling and world-class discipline and the fact that he still has cardio despite the fact that he has strength. Usually you don't have strength and cardio, either you have one or the other, but he's able to, he has both. So let's take a look at the odds and see what they are. I think it's worth grabbing Sean Brady if he's, maybe if you can get him at like -180 and below. I think I would grab Sean Brady. But let's take a look at where he's at. He's -160. think it's worth taking a stab at Sean Brady at those odds. I mean, one thing I forgot to note is it is a giant step up in competition. I mean, Sean Brady, the guy had, he beat Jake Matthews, solid prospect. Christian Aguilera, who actually, at the time, I wasn't fully sold on Jake Matthews yet. And he was Christian Aguilera was such a big dog that I grabbed him at that price. And, obviously, Sean Brady made pretty short work of him. And Ismail Nardiev, that's where actually this kind of hype started, because I think Ismail was a pretty hyped up kickboxer, but Sean Brady kind of stole his hype and continued with that. And I guess I would say he's probably the second most exciting prospect at 170 other than Hamzat. Can't really think of anyone else right now that's super exciting at 170. Division seems a little bit stale right now. I mean, you do have Luque up there, potentially Wonderboy Thompson. Gilbert Burns rematch wouldn't be bad. Leon Edwards, but still, it looks like, Kamaru's went through a lot of people. I mean, I could watch Colby and Kamaru fight all the time. I actually would argue that it's possible you could give Colby rounds, round 5, 4, and even 3. So it was close, but then, if you give Usman a 10-8 round in the second one, it would have been a tie. So, but regardless, it's nice to see some fresh blood in this division. I think it's worth grabbing Sean Brady at minus 160. I'm strongly leaning towards that. I think it's a solid play. And thanks for listening, and please like and subscribe.